It's midnight and you are tuning into Nightline with me, Zahir, Kelvin and Abdullah. The top stories. Laundromats and workplaces declared non-smoking zones. And massive blasts in Beirut after renewed Zionist airstrikes. Huge explosions rocked the Lebanese capital's southern suburbs overnight and into Friday, with grounds shaking and plumes of smoke sent into the skyline. Residents in Beirut said the bombardment was so intense that car alarms went off and buildings shook as Zionist fighter jets pounded the densely populated outskirts, including the international airport's perimeter. A source close to Hezbollah said that Israel conducted 11 consecutive raids in what has been described as its most violent attack so far on Beirut. Israeli media reported that Hezbollah's Hashim Safeddin, who is a possible successor to leader Hassan Nasrallah, was the target of the air raids. Hezbollah, however, did not immediately comment on Safaki's fate. Meanwhile, the Zionist military also hit Lebanon's Masna'a border crossing with Syria in a separate attack, cutting off a road linking the two countries that was being used by hundreds of thousands of people to flee Israeli bombardments in recent days. Meanwhile, Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, addressed worshippers in Tehran on Friday in a rare public sermon just days after the country launched a barrage of missiles against Israel earlier this week. Khamenei delivered the sermon, his first in nearly 5 years, to thousands of worshippers carrying portraits of slain leaders of Iran's axis of resistance against Israel and the United States. During his sermon, Khamenei defended Iran's missile attack against Israel, which came days after Nasrallah died in an Israeli airstrike. He added that the ballistic missile launch against Israel was the minimum punishment for the crimes the country has committed against the people of Palestine and Lebanon. On another note, British media reported that former Prime Minister Boris Johnson claimed that a listening device was found in his bathroom, allegedly left by Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. According to The Telegraph on Thursday, an excerpt from Johnson's upcoming book said that during their meeting in 2017, Netanyahu excused himself to go to the bathroom. Johnson, who was serving as UK's Foreign Secretary at the time, said he was told later that a listening device was found in the Thunderbox, where security were doing a regular sweep for bugs. It is unclear whether the Israeli government was confronted about the incident. According to the reports, around the same time, Israel was also accused of planting listening devices in the White House.
America and Israel.
Join us again this week as we explore Malaysia's fiscal reforms, the ringgit's recovery and cost of living concerns. Plus what the 2025 budget means and how it will impact you. Money Matters with Malaysia's top financial leaders, Finance Minister 2, Dato' Sri Amir Hamzah Azizan, and Bank Negara Governor, Dato' Sri Abdul Rashid Ghaffur, this Saturday at 5 p.m. on TV3 and stream on Tonton. Laundromats and workplace buildings, including both government and private premises, will be added to the list of non-smoking areas effective from January 1st next year. This follows the enforcement of the Control of Smoking Products for Public Health Act, or Act 852, on October 1st. Health Minister Dato' Sri Dr. Zulkifli Ahmad said that he has been actively campaigning to include laundromats in the list since his first appointment as Minister back in 2018.
Finally, Dobi being a place merupakan satu tempat, satu pangkalan, satu public area yang didatangi oleh pastinya ibu-ibu ataupun isteri-isteri yang membawa kunjungan anak-anak dan sebagainya.
Dr. Zulkifli said this during a media briefing session on Act 852 in Putrajaya on Friday. He also said that his ministry is committed to reducing smoking prevalence in Malaysia to 15% by the end of next year, in line with the enforcement of the new act. According to the Global Adult Tobacco Survey, GATS Malaysia 2023, 4.8 million or 19% of people aged 15 years and above in the country smoke. The ministry also stated that enforcement would start next year, so owners of premises gazetted as smoke-free areas will have ample time to put up no smoking warning signboards. Among other areas previously gazetted as smoke-free zones are hospitals or clinic areas, eateries, air-conditioned shops, public transport station buildings, government premises and educational institutions. Malaysia is set to expand its skilled labour sector and enhance all areas of trade with Pakistan following Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim's state visit to the country. The Prime Minister said that the visit to the South Asian nation was personally very meaningful and included fruitful meetings with his Pakistani counterpart Shehbaz Sharif, President Asif Ali Zardari and industry captains. Speaking to the Malaysian media at the end of his three-day state visit to Pakistan on Friday, Anwar stated that the top leadership of both nations is committed to strengthening ties across various sectors, including the economy, especially given the great potential for developing trade relations. This includes the agricultural technology sector. Additionally, both nations will expand collaboration in the skilled labour sector through critical fields such as artificial intelligence (AI), digital technology and semiconductors. Anwar pointed out that bilateral trade between Malaysia and Pakistan has not been very encouraging, reaching only 6.3 billion ringgit last year, even though the two countries have established diplomatic relations since 1957.
Kedua negara akui bahawa prestasi perdagangan itu sangat rendah, padahal potensinya besar. Sebab itu kita kena pasti bahawa projek dan juga langkah yang harus diambil, termasuk saya katakan tadi ekspor daripada Pakistan.
Earlier, it was reported that Malaysia has secured 2.65 billion ringgit of potential exports and 100 million ringgit of potential investment from meetings with Pakistani companies in conjunction with Anwar's inaugural visit. The potential exports and investment will be implemented within the next 3 years, involving sectors such as palm oil, timber, fertilizer, petrochemical, oleochemical, food manufacturing and pharmaceuticals. During the state visit, Anwar was also conferred Pakistan's highest civilian award, the Nishan-e-Pakistan, by the country's president in recognition of the Prime Minister's leadership in fostering and enhancing bilateral relations between Malaysia and Pakistan. He was also awarded an honorary doctorate of philosophy from the Pakistan's National University of Science and Technology, NUST. Separately, Malaysia will give major consideration to Bangladeshis who lost the opportunity to seek work in Malaysia because of political turmoil in their country. Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim said this on Friday as the Bangladeshi government had appealed to Malaysia on the possibility of increasing the intake of Bangladeshi workers and professionals. Anwar said that the matter will be considered for the first phase of the intake, subject to all conditions being made. He said this after a bilateral meeting with the head of Bangladesh's interim government, Dr. Muhammad Yunus, in conjunction with his one-day visit to the country, which followed his state visit to Pakistan. Anwar also said that the two countries should prioritize giving attention and preference to investing firms, ensuring that any problems were addressed swiftly and in a transparent manner. He added that both governments would also look into enhancing collaboration in higher education, agriculture, the halal economy and the semiconductor industry. This is the first visit by a head of foreign government to Bangladesh since the formation of an interim government led by Muhammad, who is also a Nobel laureate. A caretaker of a welfare home linked to Global Ikhwan Services and Business Holdings, GISBH, has pleaded not guilty to child abuse over the caning of a 6-year-old boy. 35-year-old Muhammad Shahid Hanapiah claimed trial after the charge was read out to him before Selayang Sessions Court Judge Lailatul Zuraida Harun. Shahid, who was unrepresented, was accused of abusing the boy by caning him in a manner likely to cause physical injuries at the premises in Banda Country Homes in Rawang between February and September this year. The charge under the Child Act for ill treatment, neglect, abandonment or exposure of children carries a maximum fine of 50,000 ringgit or a jail sentence of not more than 20 years or both. The judge set bail at 10,000 ringgit with one surety and ordered the accused not to disturb the victim and witnesses until disposal of the case, as well as to report to the nearest police station once a month. The court then fixed November 5th for case mentioned to enable Shahid to appoint a legal counsel. On September 16, Inspector General of Police Tan Sri Wazaruddin Hussein confirmed that the police were investigating several videos of children being abused believed to have occurred in the GISBH welfare homes. One of the videos showed a boy being caned on the palm of his hand, causing him to writhe in pain. GISBH has been in the spotlight for alleged criminal acts including child abuse, sexual abuse, exploitation, human trafficking and deviant Islamic teachings. Last month, police raided 20 of its welfare homes in Selangor and Negeri Sembilan and rescued 402 children, with investigations revealing at least 13 cases of sodomy. Now the remand order on the Chief Executive Officer CEO of GISBH as well as 23 other high-value targets arrested under the recent police operation known as Op Global has been extended for 6 more days until October 10th. Inspector General of Police Tan Sri Wazaruddin Hussein, who confirmed the matter, said the remand extension was made at the Brickfields Police Headquarters on Friday. This is to enable police to carry out further investigations related to the forced labour claims involving the company. All the suspects aged between 25 and 65 were previously remanded for 5 days to assist investigations into the case. It was reported on September 25th that police had received 10 reports of forced labour allegations involving GISBH members. The case is being investigated under the Anti-Trafficking in Persons and Smuggling of Migrants Act. In Shah Alam, the remand for 9 individuals, including 7 women linked to GISBH, has been extended by 1 to 2 days. Magistrate M. Mageshwari allowed the extension of the remand on all the suspects aged between 18 and 55 after their initial 7-day remand, which began on September 28th and ended on Friday. The remand for the women, believed to include the 4 wives of a senior GISBH leader, was extended by 1 day, while the men were remanded for 2 days for investigation under the Anti-Trafficking in Persons and Anti-Smuggling of Migrants Act. All of them were arrested in Rawang on September 27. A family endured a terrifying ordeal when armed robbers broke into their 3-story bungalow on Jalan Jagong in Pandamaran, Klang early Thursday morning. One of the 3 residents, a 37-year-old man, sustained a shoulder injury after being slashed by one of the robbers. Closed-circuit television CCTV footage of the robbery has also gone viral on social media. Klang Selatan Police Chief Assistant Commissioner Cha Hung Fong said in a statement that police received a report at 6:16 a.m. from one of the victims regarding the break-in. Based on investigations, it is believed that between 10 to 12 men, believed to be locals, arrived in 2 vehicles and climbed over the fence of the bungalow before entering the house. The suspects, who were wearing face masks and gloves and armed with machetes, then tied up the 3 residents before ransacking the property. During the robbery, one of the occupants managed to call the police and a patrol car was sent to the scene. By then, the robbers had already fled. The injured victim was taken to a private hospital in Klang for treatment and received 4 stitches for his wound. Checks reveal that the suspect stole cash, religious statues and jewellery worth 600,000 ringgit. The police are intensifying efforts to track down the suspects. More than a dozen dead in worst Bosnian floods in years. This and more from the Foreign Front when Nightline returns. Join us again this week as we explore Malaysia's fiscal reforms, the ringgit's recovery and cost of living concerns. plus what the 2025 budget means and how it will impact you. Money Matters with Malaysia's top financial leaders, Finance Minister too, Dato' Sri Amir Hamzah Azizan, and Bank Negara Governor Dato' Sri Abdul Rashid Ghaffur this Saturday at 5 p.m. on TV3 and stream on Tonton.
Kreatif dan berinovasi, wanita hebat terus memberi inspirasi.
For me kan, kalau you dream tu, you macam doa tau. That's why saya rasa macam kebanyakan impian, saya rasa macam tercapai.
Perjalanan I bukanlah fast track dekat dalam industri. Cabaran tu lebih kepada macam mana nak menjaga mental dan emosi masa kat dalam set lah.
Ini ialah hasilnya coklat kunafa bar kita. Selamat mencoba.
Nona di TV3 dan stream juga melalui Tonton.
Pencalonan baru Muzik-Muzik 39 minggu ini. Wahai gadisku, siapakah yang bakal menjuarai carta Top 20 Muzik-Muzik 39 minggu ini? Reality risiko. Semuanya dalam Muzik-Muzik 39 Ahad ini jam 12.20 tengah hari di TV3 dan stream secara langsung di aplikasi Tonton.
Bosnia has declared a state of natural disaster on Friday after heavy rains caused floods and landslides that left at least 14 dead and cut transport links. The municipality of Jablnica, where most of the deaths were reported, was completely cut off as floods destroyed roads and railway lines. Rescue operations are currently underway in the Herzegovina and central Bosnia regions. The government announced extra funds and additional army units for the disaster area. Neighboring countries also pledged to send support. Officials, meanwhile, said all roads leading to Jablnica were blocked, adding that authorities had started evacuations in the municipalities affected by the flooding, including 17 people at a mental health hospital. Japanese Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba formally instructed his ministers on Friday to compile a fresh economic package to cushion the blow to households from rising living costs. The step comes as Ishiba, previously seen as a proponent of fiscal austerity, now stresses ahead of a general election that his focus is to get the economy to fully shake off the deflation that has weighed it down for the last 3 decades. In his policy speech, Ishiba said the fresh package is expected to include payouts to low-income households and subsidies to local governments. Among other economic policies, the new Prime Minister also pledged to make efforts to boost the minimum wage of $10.24 an hour this decade versus $7.20 USD now. Meanwhile, on the diplomacy front, Ishiba vowed to keep building ties with like-minded nations. He also said he would work with China where possible while confronting it on issues of disagreement.
現実的な国益を踏まえた外交による
به حضور شما عرضه می‌داریم همیشه زندگی است دل را بهار باز علم داره
Tarozi claims Stage 6 victory. Sports action from Le Tour de Langkawi 2024 right after this breather.
Saya ingin meneruskan legasi ayah saya sendiri, nak meramaikan lagi kaum wanita untuk aktiviti manapun ini.
Untuk persediaan Kelayakan Asia dan juga Piala Dunia pada tahun hadapan, dia akan berada dalam pasukan utama untuk dilatih dan dipilih mewakili negara.
SEA Games kali ini kita kena pergi untuk bagi exposure kepada Zahra sendiri untuk game-game international yang akan datang.
Zahra the youngest, Zahra nervous sebab Zahra nak lawan semua besar-besar kan.
Kreatif dan berinovasi, wanita hebat terus memberi inspirasi.
For me kan, kalau you dream tu, you macam doa tau. That's why saya rasa macam kebanyakan impian, saya rasa macam tercapai.
Perjalanan I bukanlah fast track dekat dalam industri. Cabaran tu lebih kepada macam mana nak menjaga mental dan emosi masa kat dalam set lah.
Ini ialah hasilnya coklat kunafa bar kita. Selamat mencoba.
Nona di TV3 dan stream juga melalui Tonton.
Join us again this week as we explore Malaysia's fiscal reforms, the ringgit's recovery and cost of living concerns. Plus what the 2025 budget means and how it will impact you. Money Matters with Malaysia's top financial leaders, Finance Minister too, Dato' Sri Amir Hamzah Azizan, and Bank Negara Governor, Dato' Sri Abdul Rashid Ghaffur, this Saturday at 5 p.m. on TV3 and stream on Tonton. Sports now. Cycling Le Tour di Langkawi 2024. Italian Manuel Tarozzi claimed a thrilling breakaway victory in the sixth stage of the tournament on Friday. The race, which started in Batu Pahat and ended in Kulai Johor, covered a total distance of 123.4 kilometres, featuring 3 sprint zones in Singarang, Renggit and Bukit Batu. The peloton displayed a commendable effort, but the contest for the finishing line came down to just 2 riders, with Tarozzi claiming victory. The VF Group Badiani CSF Faizain rider outkicked fellow breakaway group rider Stefan de Bod of the EF Education Easy Post to win in 2 hours 28 minutes and 58 seconds. Two-door pro cycling sprinter Avid de Cloyne, who arrived with the peloton 9 seconds later, crossed the line third. Malaysia Pro Cycling's Ahmad Shazrin Awang Ila, who crossed the line 23rd in the same group as De Cloyne, was the highest-placed Malaysian finisher of the day. The results also saw De Cloyne again snatching the orange jersey from JCL team Ukio rider Matteo Malucelli, while DSM Firmenich Postal's Max Poole remained in the green jersey. The 7th stage on Saturday will move to Sarawak, involving the longest route of 199.3 kilometres from Miri to Bintulu. On to football, the Saudi Pro League. Goals from Karim Benzema and Hussein Aoua helped Al Ittihad keep the pressure on leaders Al Hilal as they beat Al Oqdoud 2-1 on Thursday. Benzema drew first blood for Al Ittihad 10 minutes before the hour mark when he smashed the ball home thanks to Musa Diaby's assist. Aoua then doubled their advantage after heading home Stephen Begwin's assist from close range. Al Ittihad maintained their 2-0 lead until the final moments when Al Oqdoud reduced the deficit through Saleh Al Abbas in added time. Laurent Blanc's men are level on 15 points with Al Hilal after 6 games, while Al Oqdoud are in 15th place with 4 points. Moving on to tennis, the 2024 Shanghai Masters. Stefanos Tsitsipas was made to work as he defeated Kei Nishikori in straight sets to advance to the next round on Friday. The Greek, who suffered a shock defeat to Nishikori in Montreal in August, battled through 2 tight sets to win 7-6, 6-4 in the second round of the 1000 event. With the win, Tsitsipas moves on to face France's Alexandre Muller in the round of 32. Also through to the next round was Ben Shelton. The 14th seed from the United States continued his remarkable run, knocking out Canadian qualifier Denis Shapovalov in straight sets 6-3, 7-5 in the second round. Shelton will face Roberto Cabales Baena of Spain next. Motorcyclist charged with verbally abusing cop. The details when we come back. Join us again this week as we explore Malaysia's fiscal reforms, the ringgit's recovery and cost of living concerns. Plus what the 2025 budget means and how it will impact you. Money Matters with Malaysia's top financial leaders, Finance Minister too, Dato' Sri Amir Hamzah Azizan, and Bank Negara Governor, Dato' Sri Abdul Rashid Ghaffur, this Saturday at 5 p.m. on TV3 and stream on Tonton.
Kreatif dan berinovasi, wanita hebat terus memberi inspirasi.
For me kan, kalau you dream tu, you macam doa tau. That's why saya rasa macam kebanyakan impian, saya rasa macam tercapai.
Perjalanan I bukanlah fast track dekat dalam industri. Cabaran tu lebih kepada macam mana nak menjaga mental dan emosi masa kat dalam set lah.
Ini ialah hasilnya coklat kunafa bar kita. Selamat mencoba.
Nona di TV3 dan stream juga melalui Tonton.
Apa yang kelakar sangat tu, Kak? Ni tengah tengok drama baru dekat Tonton ni. Macam seronok je cerita ni. Kalau nak tengok kat TV, boleh tak?
Boleh je, Mak. Cari aplikasi Tonton. Dah jumpa tu, tinggal buat turun je. Dah buka Tonton, tekan butang sign in, nanti dia keluar macam ni. Dia ada bagi link. Tapi nak senang, invest je kod QR ni. Masukkan je ID dengan password. Sekarang ni tinggal cari senang dan main drama.
In Pulau Pinang, a motorcyclist who was caught on camera verbally abusing a traffic policeman who issued him a summons was charged in the Georgetown Magistrates Court on Friday. 25-year-old Goh Weng Kiong, who is unemployed, claimed trial when the charge was read to him before Magistrate Nodratun Naim Muhammad Saidi. Goh was accused of humiliating Corporal Nick Muhammad Faisal Niklong, age 40, by hurling verbal abuses in front of a bus stop in Jalan Tian Tek in Air Hitam last Wednesday. He was charged under the Penal Code, which carries a maximum 5-year jail sentence and a fine if found guilty. The court set bail at 8,000 ringgit with one surety and fixed November 14th for case mention. However, the accused was taken to the Pulau Pinang Remand Centre after no one came forward to settle the bail. Goh was arrested on Wednesday night after a 3-minute video recording of him hurling profanities at the cop went viral on social media. It is believed that he was dissatisfied with the officer for issuing him a summons for running a red light. In Perak, a bank officer was charged in the Ipoh Magistrates Court on Friday with 2 counts of insulting the modesty of his female colleague 3 years ago. The accused, 52-year-old Rosman Jamaluddin, however, pleaded not guilty when the charges were read to him before Magistrate S. Punita. According to the charge sheet, the accused had the intention of humiliating the 38-year-old victim by sending her WhatsApp messages containing obscene content. The offences were allegedly committed at Jalan Perajurit, Ipoh Garden East on May 20, 2021 and August 8 the same year. Rosman was charged under the Penal Code, which provides a maximum penalty of 5 years imprisonment, a fine, or both upon conviction. The magistrate set bail at 2,500 ringgit for all charges, with the additional condition that the defendant must not disturb the victim. The court then fixed November 25th for case mention. At a separate Ipoh Magistrates Court, a man who posed as an Airbus pilot, oil company engineer and even a deputy public prosecutor, among others, has been charged with cheating. 44-year-old Muhammad Faizul Baharuddin pleaded not guilty when the charge was read to him before Magistrate Siti Nora Sharif on Friday. He was accused of cheating 64-year-old Latifah Ahmad Sudan into handing over 24,000 ringgit to him to secure a non-existent pilot job. The offence was allegedly committed at a bank branch in Gunung Rapat between December 12, 2016 and April 8, 2018. The charge under the Penal Code provides imprisonment of up to 10 years along with whipping and a fine upon conviction. The court allowed the accused bail of 4,500 ringgit and fixed November 27 for case mention. The father of 5, who allegedly swindled millions of ringgit by impersonating various professionals since 2001, was arrested by the police in Ampang, Selangor last Tuesday. Around before we leave, let's take a look as Beijing launches more than 2,400 cultural activities at scenic areas, parks and night markets during its National Day holiday weekend. With that, I'm Zahir. Kelvin and Abdullah, thank you for watching and stay safe, Malaysia.